Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are on the Mariposa Island map and we have our contestant for today, which is Mr. Barcast TV, fellow content creator. Definitely worth checking out his channel if you're not aware of who he is. And his opponent is Stardom. Now, it's been a while since we've had Stardom on the channel. It'd be nice to see what plays he has in store for us. So, Mariposa Island, if you haven't seen it before, is mostly a team-based map with starting positions here being circled for you. So, it's interesting to see how, out of all of these choices, Stardom has gone in this top corner here, rather than if he's going land. Why does he not go here? That would give him relatively close expansion to all of these triple metal points. But instead going for this northern position. Now, it might be due to his plan to maybe walk his comm into the water to cap these mexes and move along. But that does seem a bit odd. That is his case. Now, this map is a large map, so getting economy out first is useful. There's a lot of trees to be reclaimed here and a decent amount of small clumps of metal. Not really much to write home about, but it'll add up in the long run. Now, his opponent, of course, Barcast, has decided he's going to go purely naval here. This is a very interesting choice, because if he would have gone vehicles rather than naval, he could have built amphibious transports. Not amphibious transports, sorry, amphibious constructors. And then use that to get into the water rather than going into a sea lab. But Barcast is now moving on to land. So I'm wondering if his actual plan here is to build land. But this slower start here is to get some form of naval production up and running. And then give him the ability to get naval mexes easier, maybe? I don't know. I don't really know what his plan is here. He does have a vehicle lab queued and is in range of this con turret here, which is a very good idea, making use of the con turret after it's finished building these titles. Now, going for vehicles when you've already got boats, which are obviously very metal intensive, is going to be a bit difficult for Barcast. Now, this map does have a lot of metal. So, as long as he can get the metal point, I wouldn't call it the end of the world here. Stardom now does notice Navy. It looks like he's probably going to be able to get that con turret. Nope. Barcast manages to push him off. And the con turret is finished. But how many ships is Barcast planning on building? Currently with one extra dolphin queued up and then a con turret. And that seems to be it. He's got repeat mode off as well. Seems like these dolphins may be being just used to escort these construction ships as they make their way through the water. But this does give Barcast a bit of a slow move onto land. Oh, interesting. But Stardom instead, because of seeing the boats, has now decided he's going into sea himself. Stardom losing all land production, go for sea. Now, I can't say I already expected this, to be honest with you. Both players being Armada means that it's pretty much a mirror matchup in terms of units. There's still more metal extractors on land. There's no difference in weight of the metal, no. So to give up the land mexes to go water is a bit of an odd choice. Now, don't get me wrong, Barcast has already gotten a sizable chunk more metal extractors than his opponent. He manages to catch out this con on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Stardom does not manage to get the one on the right-hand side of the map. So far, both trades actually went to Barcast. There is a guy here that could pick up this construction ship, but Stardom is not aware it even exists. And that gets cleaned up very, very quickly. Now, subs will be sent out here with the intention of picking up some of those metal extractors. There are torpedo defenses going up, though, that will block this. He's going to need more than one, which you can see he's got queued up. Meanwhile, on the bottom, nothing yet, but there is plans. This torpedo defense is quite far forward. And realistically, Stardom, I kind of feel like he should have made a bit more of a play on the land here. Like, realistically, what is Navy really going to do? Like, yeah, it could maybe hit in a little bit here, get a bit of damage, but like, just have some of your own tanks, right, to deal with that. Like, the fact that he's invested so much into getting those rather than pressuring his opponent, because there's been no pressure really so far. Both players, sorry, being very, very passive. And even now that Barcast is still producing units, these blitzers are just not really doing anything but being defensive. So, because of that, you know what we're going to do? We're going to speed it up a bit. Now at ×2 speed, let's see if they get moving. We're at minute 7 so far. Barcast is building up a bit of a force of blitzes, currently up to 4, with more on their way, as well as 4 in the middle. Meanwhile, Stardom has not really got much at all. Stardom now with an air lab. And there's just so many like little blitzes just getting in here and there. It's a lot of land to try and cover here. So for like a single blitz to just sneak through, it's kind of not that surprising if that does happen. But it's kind of surprising though, like Barcast was off the land for so long as opposed to Stardom, and yet metal per second and all of the stats have actually been favorable to Barcast. Which is not what I was expecting. Stardom has just struggled to take any territory at all. So he's lost the water mexes, which is to be expected. You know, Barcast invested in that right at the get-go. But Stardom was on land. Ah, right. Okay. So, Stardom has then, rather than expanding quickly to get as much territory, has literally gone straight into Tech 2 and is building tall rather than wide. There's a lot of metal extractors to be had and a lot of metal to be had on this map. Barcast going for a bit more of a wide approach. He is aware that Tech 2 is around, but it looks like so far no plans to transition to Tech 2 himself. It's going to take a little while for Stardom to actually get any sort of, you know, big play from that Tech 2. Seaplane factory going up in a replacement of the Tech 1 Air Lab. And seaplanes are not to think lightly of. They're pretty strong. Seaplane gunships, as well as we see Barkas go straight into seaplane gunships and fighters. And they are some pretty good air units. Now, Stardom looks like he's making his first bit of an attack here. Don't think it's going to be of any significant value. The single Jaguars kind of just roam around here. I'm quite surprised by Stardom going straight into a fusion. And Barkas now decides Tech 2 himself. Yeah, Stardom is not looking good. He is losing ground all over the place. He doesn't seem to have much in the way of units. Now, it is only the 11th minute mark, but there's a big chunk of units just barreling their way down towards Stardom's comm. Now, Jaguars are here. We'll make pretty short work of blitzes, but I don't know. Stardom's going to probably have to pull his comm out here to get some good D-guns. Only due to some of the blitzes splitting off here, getting at this island metal extractors. And at the same time, we saw, what, a single metal extractor killed by Stardom. But Stardom definitely on the damage receiving end here, losing a lot of his income. Fusion has bumped his energy production up, but when we look at metal produced between the two players currently, we're seeing a 7k metal difference. Army value is not that much of a difference, so that 7k has gone somewhere. Mostly into all these titles, probably. A lot of titles to be had. Fusion has now been built, and we can see that the energy is on Barkas' favor again. Barkas does have a lot of these solars, though, that he's going to be able to reclaim to get more metal. And I don't know. I just think this game is going really well for Barkas. Very well. You can see how Barkas is actually on this hill line here as well, like taking these metal extractors. Stardom has never even gotten up here, and he was closest to this area. Stardom's just been very slow at expanding, and just trying to get all of this Tech 2 metal extractors up as quick as possible, but don't know if this was the right call. He's had Tech 2 the longest, but he's not been able to really do anything with any of it. Now, the AA on the Jaguars will shoot down the seaplane gunships. You see they come in on this north side. The AA is not great, though. Mostly good against things like shurikens, but they are getting some metal extractors. Finally able to dish out some damage. But Barkas has now been left with a big chunk of wrecks. Air comes in way too late to really deal with those seaplane gunships. 800 metal there, plus a couple of other hundreds metal, so almost a total of 1,000 metal. But meanwhile, we see 7 units here, 1 stout, 6 Jaguars making their way in, getting a Tech 2 metal extractor. They will get stopped before they get close. Stardom is there ready with his commander, and the Tech 2 con will be safe for now with 2k worth of metal left in Stardom's base to eat up. And Stardom desperately needs that right now. Question is, when are we going to see that transition over to Bulls? That will mark a turning point in the battle. I don't think it's going to be long for Barcast at this rate. When we look at... we've got Barcast selected right now. He's at 146 metal income a second. Stardom, he's currently reclaiming, so it's a little bit off, but he's showing us 172. See these numbers here as well in the corner. 146. It was about 130 there, we saw briefly. And there we go. First bull out on the field. Barcast in a very, very strong position here, but well, the tank does one dangerous attack. And Stardom could pull this back. Sea has been completely ignored for quite a while now. Seaplane gunships will also do a pretty good job at dealing with these underwater metal points, if so chosen. Single amount of Jags just being picked off here and there. Another 1,000 worth of metal now appearing there. More Jags being sent in from Stardom, but not really accomplishing anything whatsoever. Still only seaplane gunships as well as some fighters from Barcast, but realistically, spreading out looking at the map, Barcast has like that much of the map, technically that much of the map. Stardom in a very, very bad spot. And it's only going to get worse as time goes on. One thing though, this map being so large, it's all about positioning your units. And Barcast, you can see, has a huge quantity of units here, but Stardom is going to be able to maybe walk straight through the middle. I think he's, yep, unfortunately going to get sandwiched between both armies. Maybe a little bit quicker, he would have been alright, but no, not enough. Stardom's comm in the water. I think he thought that was going to be a bombing run. Wanted to keep his commander safe. And now up to 2 fusions for both players. All the economy is still looking very heavily on Barcast's favor there. I think Barcast is just going to overwhelm him with bulls given time. The medium mines enough to be a bit annoying, but unless Stardom like proper hunkers down with like Tech 2 defenses, kind of see him just rolling over him with all of the bulls. Now Stardom has finally gone into bulls himself, and some bad micro by Barcast manages to get the tanks stuck there. Barcast vying for air supremacy here, throwing his fighters into the ring. Doesn't look like there's quite enough. But all of the seaplane gunships have been destroyed. At this point, I'd be debating whether to reclaim this sea lab. Seems like he's going to maybe just use it for fighters, get some vision with scouts maybe. We look at player view though. This is what he's seen of Stardom's base. Got a pretty good idea where the fusions are as well as the factories. He hasn't taken this top area here yet, which Yeah, I was literally just about to say, Barcast is now moving to secure these extra 2 metal extractors up here. Perfect place for it. Oh, but Barcast may be in for a touch of bother here, as 29 units, minus the 3 fighters, are making their move straight down to Barcast. Question is he going to have to pull those units back in order to stop this push that Barcast has right now? A decent quantity of 9 bulls. It's like Barcast will get a fusion here. How much more damage will Barcast be able to do, though? He's down to 4-3 bulls. Getting stuck on the wreck of the fusion. Destroying the fusion wreck. Getting a bunch of build power. And that clears that up. But on the opposite side here, bulls taking out a lot of those Jaguars. And desperately now trying to push even further into Barcast base, but I don't see this army getting too much further here. Barcast has plenty of bulls to stop this push. So it did clear out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Tech 2 metal extractors, maybe a 7th. But the biggest loss for Stardom was that fusion reactor. Able to get a last metal extractor there on the retreat. Still, Barcast in a very, very strong position. Building an advanced geothermal on this high ground. Getting all of these high ground mexes here. The Tech 2. Barcast with a total of 21 Tech 2 metal extractors. As opposed to his opponent's 14. Oh, and that's a big loss as well, as huge quantity of tidals get destroyed here along the shoreline. These 3 bulls just able to sneak their way in. But I'm going to have to go for the D-gun. It's all of them with 1 D-gun, but still, that's a lot of a loss. Now, 7k worth of metal. Ready to be resurrected. When we look at metal produced here, I mean, oh, that is such a big number. Such a big number. Yeah, I don't think that's even possible to come back from. This 7k, 3k here, not really enough. Barcast just putting on tremendous pressure. But who knows, maybe Stardom has some great play that he's planning on doing. Army value is still it's 5k metal difference right now. A 7k here, so they will be even when it comes to metal difference from those res bots. Not only that, but obviously more balls being left in the base of Stardom here. And he may be able to get some of that difference back, but at the cost of losing more and more ground. Stardom is just massively turtling. Barcast is just free to kind of do whatever he wants here. And going into Tech 3, reclaiming the Tech 2 lab and the other stuff that he had up here, and is now rushing Marauders. I hope he's planning to take these via the water rather than going straight across, so that he can get in around the back where there's barely anything, especially if he goes like this. But this is Stardom's time. Nope. Yeah, Barcast with crazy economy right now. able to completely overwhelm Stardom. Marauder's just... he doesn't care if he loses them. He can produce them so quickly. Not only that, Barkast saying this in all chat, bear in mind. The funny thing is, Stardom is obviously not down and out right now. I mean, he is extremely behind. He's overflowing metal to the point of 2k metal overflowed. But Barkast wanting Stardom to just end it and resign. Stardom being like, nope. Oh, a rare air repair lab has been spotted. Never see that built. Oh, Juno also built to get rid of the mines. And now the combined forces of Barkast and Stardom just piling in. Well, the combined force of Barkast piling into Stardom. Seaplane gunships on their way in as well, but normal gunships it seems as well. The Marauders aren't great Tech 3 rather. They're good for raids, and this is not what they're good for right now, which is going head to head versus Bulls. And look at that quantity of resbots that are just sat ready to go. 34 resbots. And Stardom still hanging on. And this is well played for Stardom, not giving up. He's really fighting over this reclaim field. He wants to get this stuff up and running. 11k metals worth of stuff here. More and more bulls. Barkast with a huge, humongous economy advantage. They're not really able to make a big enough dent. Finally getting some of the res bots, which is going to slow the progress down. And with losing all of those res bots, Stardom finally pulls the GG. Well, interesting tactic there from Barkast, choosing to go a water start, giving him a very strong amount of metal in that early game. Stardom really could have done with applying more pressure, and because of a lack of pressure from Stardom, it kind of just gave Barkast the game. So thank you all for watching. I hope this was an interesting one for you, and I'll see you all next time.